2017, the Cnmi public school system established a 3-year goal to ensure that every student in every classroom has access to 21st century technology. Each year, we have dedicated over $1.5 million for the purchase of technology resources, providing innovative uses of tech to ensure high-quality education with the intent to take advantage of instructional technology as a powerful and concrete vehicle for teaching critical thinking and problem-solving skills that are essential for post-secondary education and the workforce. Through the One-to-One Technology Initiative, a combined total of 7,980 iPads, 3,180 laptops, and 344 tech carts, we've ushered in a world of technology for our 10,000 public school students. Funding also supported the purchase of 2,025 iPads, 300 laptops, and 78 charging carts for our private nonprofit schools that serve 2,000 students.
Technology programs are critical to ensure equity in learning across the 3 islands in the Cnmi, to make available online learning opportunities to both public and private schools that lack teachers to support mandated instruction across subjects. For the past 8 years, the Cnmi PSS has offered distance education courses to an average of 1,600 students annually at our public and private schools, to accelerate their learning or take courses that are not offered at their schools. We plan to expand our suite of 32 courses next school year and to make these distance education courses available to an estimated 2,200 students. We also offer, in a distance education format, professional development courses to our teachers and school administrators in order to continually grow as professionals.
In this short film on technology in the classroom, you will hear from school administrators, teachers, and students at our public and private nonprofit schools on the impact of technology on teaching and learning.
We have a total of 606 students in kindergarten through 5th grade. We have about 24 carts, which is over 600 iPads. Yes, a cart per classroom.
Try to use the iPads every day. Through the technology grant, we were fortunate enough to get an entire set that come in tows. So every kid in my class has their own iPad for their own personal use. They don't have to share any iPads. Well, the biggest thing that technology has changed in the way we teach is creativity. And not only that, it's access. So these kids, like my students here, they're able to learn just about anywhere. I don't have to use paper anymore. They use different kinds of tools to express what they've learned, and they use different kinds of tools to gain more knowledge. So it's a big change compared to the traditional way of teaching. Technology has really benefited our students nowadays.
There's really a lot, like almost every subject we can have different websites just to learn about specific stuff.
4 years ago compared to now, I see a lot of students that are more engaged in learning. They're more interested in what they learn when they use technology and the iPads. With today's generation, this is what they're good at. So why not integrate it in the classroom? And if you have their engagement and their interest, you research shows that you retain knowledge.
It makes things more simpler and easy, and it could even make it fun for some of us.
Here we have about 650 students. We have 30 classrooms, so we have about 600 iPads and 20 carts available for all our students and our teachers.
From an instructional point of view, the differentiated instructional capabilities has gotten better. The students are at different levels, and the technology has helped students who have language barriers have Google Translate readily available for them if they are able to write proficiently. For example, they have the iPads have the functions of where you can convert audio to text. Those have helped definitely. And then from a real life kind of perspective, these guys are definitely in the time where time is invaluable. So I feel like technology has helped the kids become time efficient with multitasking and whatnot. And I think most especially technology has helped me get them ready for future and careers that's not even available yet. And I feel like technology is the way to go.
The benefits of having technology is that we could do a lot of different stuff, like the apps of using an iPad, and we could do whatever we want. It helps me in reading and it helps me in math really a lot. It helps me expand my reading, math, and I think I could be doing teaching here. And I think technology would help me and my future students to get in other apps and enjoy reading and math and whatever I experience.
Right now, Marianas High School has a total of 1,559 students. Right now we have 54 carts, which equates to 1,620 iPads and laptops. All of the devices are in every classroom. We use it for Act Aspire, Achieve 3000. We use it for different Start Reading, Start Math. We use it for different evaluations as well, including as well, we even have it inside our library.
For the most part, in a span of 5 days in a week, most of my students use the computers or the iPads that I have 3 out of 5 days in a week, so almost every day. So the way technology changed the way I teach is everything is so efficient now, so I'm able to give assignments online. So if, let's say, students don't finish something in class, I'll be able to assign it online, and that's one of the things that technology allows me to do, is that accessibility even outside my classroom.
So technology, after leaving high school, I can get more information like online. So even if I don't get helps from my professors or teachers, there's also information available to us online where we can learn more about other subjects, about what we don't know and what we want to improve on.
Technology certainly has changed the way I teach. I can do more things than I could maybe 5 years ago. Now that I actually have a whole tool cart in my classroom, I can give a device to each of my students and have them research about all kinds of topics. Like, for instance, today they're doing research on Thomas Jefferson. So it certainly has changed the way I teach. I think it really is important this day and age to actually have the technology in the classroom for kids to use. I think now that we have technology in the classroom, that it'll really bring, especially Marianas High School, forward in the digital age. Kids are learning all kinds of things. They're way more advanced than most students have been in past years. Now that they have everyday use of it, they can actually learn how to really deepen their understanding of technology, not just inside the classroom but outside.
The day and age now, it's hard to have like books and different resources. So to have the laptops and iPads, it's easier for us to get information in classes and easier for teachers to like, here, look this up, and then they can just look it up. It's easier. Makes your life easier. That's a simple answer.
Currently, we have 309 students. We have about 9 laptops and carts. Some are iPad carts and some are laptop.
Getting more proficient with all the different tools and how to actually use the devices, it's made lessons more efficient for me. It changes the way I plan, knowing what kind of capabilities I have, which just in relation to not having the tech, it's just a lot more. I have a lot more capabilities to work with. If planned correctly, the student engagement goes way up. It's much easier to check for understanding and have like immediate data. It's a lot easier to get them engaged in the activity itself. It's a lot easier to disseminate information to students and parents. So again, a lot of it has to do with how well trained a teacher is to use the technology or become proficient in it. But as we learn to do that, it builds a stronger community in the classroom. It can build a stronger community outside the classroom with parents, with educators, with things like Google Classroom, or even just even just having shared like wiki sites that they can use from home. Things like Achieve that monitor like the growth of their reading for us. So there's some really impressive technologies out there. So having the actual devices to utilize it is really, really key.
It makes it much more easier for us to learn, and it's more accessible. And yes, most jobs need technology actually.
Well, since most of our homework is online, then it makes us easier to learn.
We use the technology a lot in the classroom, so iPads every single day. In the high school especially, every single day they're using laptops. We use them for a variety of functions, but pretty much in most class periods you'll see someone using technology in the classroom.
Right now we have 26 in the class because we're playing host to a lot of Korean students that are here temporarily. So for last month and this month we have extra students, but typically we have 16 in our class. I have been teaching for 13 years now. So when I first started teaching, we didn't have iPads in the classrooms. We had computer labs that we had to take the students to. We were still working, everything was off of Windows, and technology for classroom use was still very clunky. It was the age of smartboards, and the internet wasn't as quick. There was always something that was going wrong with it. So oftentimes trying to implement technology in the classroom, it was very intimidating for students and intimidating for teachers, because whatever we had personally was always better than whatever we could get at the school level. So it became kind of a chore. Over the years, technology has gotten better as internet has gotten more accessible and quicker. We have one-to-one technology in every classroom I've worked at now. Here we have iPads available for every student. We have the projectors and document cameras, and just technology's just changed in a way that it's a lot easier to work with.
Well, it allows me, I think, to get them started on projects so that more of my time can be used to help them if they're having trouble with something, answer questions. So instead of having to lecture, they have something to do, and it allows me to monitor and assess more of the time and try to think of what to say and what to do less of the time, which I think is more productive for the students. I'd say that's the biggest change in the way that I teach.
It helps us to get our work done faster, and it helps us to be able to communicate with our teachers if we have questions at home or something. And it's easier to use instead of books and stuff.
We have over 600 students at the school from kindergarten through 12th grade. We pretty much do. Every classroom, every student has access to some kind of electronic device, whether it's a desktop, a laptop, or an iPad. And we make sure we make full use of all of these devices to make sure that everyone has access to them. We have a number of the devices, particularly iPads, in these mobile carts that we can bring to different classes. So sometimes if the class doesn't have enough, we can bring an additional cart to the classroom. One of the ways it's changed the way I teach is it makes it easier to share resources. It also makes it much easier for students to collaborate on projects together. So whether we're doing a collaborative, like a joint quiz on Quizizz, or we're sharing a Google Doc to draft a position statement in an AP Gov class, or something as simple as testing students using Edmodo or Achieve 3000, we're able to engage students in a way that is much more real time. So from an assessment perspective, we're able to do real-time formative assessment. We can do quick polls, but also it's a way for students to work together and not be limited by, okay, wait a minute, I gotta go photocopy something, right? No, we can say, all right, let's create an animation together. Let's create a PowerPoint presentation together, or let's create a video together. It allows for a lot more real-time assessment and a lot more collaboration.
So our
Our enrollment has varied a little bit in the past couple of years. Right now we have about 100 students enrolled, and so we've actually lost some students due to Typhoon U2 and also with the CW issues. So right now we're at about 100, but we range from 100 to 148. I was 138 at the end of last year. I've been able to use these iPads not just in their homeroom classrooms, but also in the co-curricular classes. And so not only do they have access to them in their classroom, but also our library. And so by having iPads available in the library, we're able to give them access to ebooks that they can't always find. And then in our library, so it makes our library infinite. And then also we have it in a set also for our computer lab. So not only do they learn in their on the computers, but also they have the access to the iPads in the computer room. And for music, you might not think of it, but iPads are great for music development, and so we also have a set in our music room.
Not necessarily every day. We focus on Khan Academy for math once a week, and then periodically throughout the week they use the iPads for research in both classes. By allowing myself to have additional resources and also allowing the students to have, especially the Khan Academy, being able to teach them at different levels and being able to allow them to master things we may not master as a whole group, I really feel that's going to help them in the future. But it's changed the way I teach because now I can dedicate certain days to more advanced material for the advanced students and helping the other students kind of rise to the occasion or catch them up if need be.
Oh, it's very critical for them to know how to use technology, primarily because we communicate online via email. As a matter of fact, our school has its own Gmail domain, so all students have email accounts which are connected to their Google Classroom, which almost every teacher utilizes in their class. Distance learning primarily for our students is to allow for them to be able to take additional courses online to accelerate their graduation requirements.
Every single day they use the iPads because I teach using Google Classroom, the app Google Classroom, and we use a lot of Google products, Google Docs, Google Drive. So every day I integrate the iPads into their lessons. It's made it a lot more convenient because we are able to communicate inside, outside the classroom. The students, they can collaborate with each other. We can, it makes it more interactive. And plus these kids, they love technology, so it keeps them focused on the lesson.
For one, all of these students, they have information right at the tip of their fingers. They have access to all this sort of information, so it's like we're not just responsible for teaching them content and standards, but we're also responsible for teaching them how to use technology in the right way and how to distinguish good information from information that's not necessarily the most reliable. And it's also made things a lot easier because students are so resourceful these days. There's videos, there's YouTube. When a student doesn't understand something, sometimes they explain to me about how the night before they went on YouTube and did a little more research. So it's like, in a way, we're teaching students to become more independent by also having them depend on this technology.
The global demand now of instructional practices has transformed, and right now the Cnmi is trying to adapt to that. It's not just important, but it's vital. With the change right now with the information, the world of information, technology is critical. It's needed for daily lives, the classroom, at home, at the workspace. Basically, technology is everywhere. It's not going to be something that you can't ignore. It's something that you need to integrate in your life now.
Technology is it's critical for our school. I'm happy to say that our teachers use technology every day. We use them for different things. We use them for lessons in our English Language Arts class. We use them for lessons in math class, in our science class, our social studies class, and even our CTE computer class. So we do use them every day. We also have them in our library. Kids go and use them for projects and different things that they work on. We're really glad to have the support because they are used every day in all of our classes.